You are incredibly welcome to this week's spread. So where do you feel drawn? Is it spread number 1, spread number 2, or spread number 3? There's no right or wrong way when you're choosing a card or a spread. Feel where you're drawn. Sometimes you could feel here in your solar plexus, you may be really focusing here, or a subtle shift pulls you here. And sometimes you might like to listen to the entire video and see where you are drawn. So whatever suits you, the purpose of my videos are really to help you trust your own intuition. So spread 1, 2, or 3, and the individual spreads will follow. And please feel free to subscribe and like these videos. Have a lovely week. Let's have a look at spread number 1. Really lovely energy here. This is all about balance today and priorities. So we've 3 different decks here, and we have the adjacent possibilities from the Energy Oracle, Make the Effort card from the Romance cards, and we have Soulful Appreciation, Heartfelt Gratitude from the Energy and Spirit Oracle. What these cards are immediately showing me, just even if I look at them, you can see almost here, there's a lot of energy, a lot of rushing about here. And the door on the floor is about having to get back into a routine, having your routine out of kilter, and really trying to get a sense of a new structure or routine, or having to be disciplined. And the effort card is really about having time for yourself. And when I see the effort card come up for somebody, it's very much about really having to be disciplined with yourself. You may have that best intention of getting out for a walk, but by the time you finish work, you could be tired, you could be grumpy, and you can give a million excuses bar the one that you really need to get outside. So that's a prime example of your ego trying to block you do something that would genuinely make you happy and really make you step into your power. The Soulful Appreciation is a Scales of Balance card, and the butterfly is always a sign from spirit, letting you know they're minding you and looking after you. But this also shows a balance between work and play. And so this card and this card would almost be mirror cards of each other. And sometimes we actually have to make the effort to have play. We have to make the effort to have downtime. And I feel after the pandemic, everybody has been rushing about. I think things sometimes are even worse than before. And we made ourselves all these promises that we were going to meet up with friends, we were going to set time for ourselves, or we were even going to take up hobbies that were active, etc. Or it doesn't have to be active, it could be creative. And of course, we went right back into work again, and we end up losing that sense or those promises we made ourselves. So, card number 1 today is reminding you of your body's balance and your spiritual balance. So you may need to make plans with friends. There could be booking that holiday, but it also could be getting your coat and going outside for a walk and honouring that promise you made to yourself as well. It could be socialising. You could have had massive problems with socializing since you've come back after the whole pandemic break, and a lot of my clients have felt this. They're really struggling with socializing again and making plans again, and there's still a lot of people that are very worried about mixing. So this is about finding that balance and what works for you, but doing nothing will not work, and being too busy in one way and not having time for rest and play, that's very serious. So today your spirit team are reminding you of that balance. Where are you out of kilter? Get a pen and paper, write down the people that make you feel good, who you'd like to see this summer, what you'd like to see. Is there a movie you'd like to see, a walk you'd like to go on, a theatre or museum that you would like to visit? Who do you want in your circle? You may crave some more simplicity. What books do you want to read? Have a think about that, and anything that makes you smile instantly when you think of it, do it, please. Have a wonderful week. This is spread number 2. Let's have a look and see what's in store. Okay, so immediately there's a red flag card with a contract legal document coming in here. I'm afraid this week for you may be a time of getting priorities in line and in order, and this could also be around your financial house. So it could be a time for you to actually have a forensic look at your accounts, start putting those receipts in a basket by the door, print out your online receipts or scribble them onto a piece of paper. It's time to take a sharp, short, quick look at your finances. There may be an issue here with them. There may be something that's overdue, an oversight on your part perhaps, a fine that might need to be paid, a bill that's outstanding that could affect a loan if you're looking for credit, etc. So something here, the devil is in the detail with the strategy card. This card also represents some form of a legal process or contract. Now, when you have a red flag on top of a contract card, it means there's something on a contract that you're not happy about, that you might need to reread it, or you may ask it to be redrawn or redrafted for it to benefit both mutual parties. But either way, this is not straightforward. So this week you need to be very clear in your communications, but it also may be about you being very clear about your boundaries and saying, no, that doesn't suit me. And I get this a lot with people going through a divorce settlement and a house sale, that they have to put their foot down and say, no, that doesn't work for me. That's where I draw the line. So this week it's really important. And this card here, beneath the surface, you can see the iceberg, and you can see what looks like a tiny problem on the surface. Underneath is ginormous, a typical iceberg. So there could be something you're in denial to. So it could be something that you don't want to look at or face or deal with, may end up biting you on the backside if you do not pay attention to it this week. So yes, none of us like those overdue bills or those red letters that come in the door. It can be a bit scary. None of us like conflict. We don't like having to set down boundaries. But you may have to nip something in the bud fairly quickly. You may have to ring a financial advisor or somebody like a solicitor or a person here that may need to be involved that could help you in some way. So do not go into denial this week. It's time to face up to some uncomfortable truths. But if you take action on this and face something as a whole, not just tackle one tiny bit of the problem, get advice for the whole thing, things are going to end up working out really well for you. So there's a warning here for you that if there's something here that you're not dealing with, that you're not verbalizing, that you're not addressing, it's going to end up becoming a much bigger issue. Whereas if you deal with it now, it'll be dealt with swiftly and you can move on. Lesson learned. Have a good week and look after yourself. Let's have a look at spread number 3. Okay, wow. So in the very center card here, we have the codependency card, and codependency is about looking for validation outside yourself. It's about having a problem with the word no, feeling squirm or shameful or guilty about saying no, setting down boundaries, or simply even having time for yourself. The kinship card, community or group, it means someone here around family or friends, even a career, is putting very unfair demands on you. And this is very much about you having to verbalize this. Now, the storm warning card, as you can see here on the right, means you're being put in an awkward position. This could be, the number 3 there is interesting, as the old expression, two's company, three's a crowd. So when I see 3 in a card, sometimes it can mean about warnings coming in around you, paying heed to spirit guides, trying to say to you, heads up here. There could be a vibe you're getting that you're not trusting, but it feels that you are getting demands placed upon you. This could be regarding a job, it could be a friendship, it could be around family. But either way, that codependency card is about you not being able to stick up for yourself or being dragged into an issue that is not of your making, somebody dumping their problems and worries on you, or somebody trying to make their problems your problems. The storm warning here is about your mental health. It's about something blowing up on you in terms of, it could be an emotional outburst. It could be that you take so much and you explode. Or it could be that there is some issue here in a relationship dynamic affecting, your people. So again, as I say, that's your community, your group. But if you do not set down boundaries here in some way, that if you don't verbalize, not my circus, not my monkeys, that's not my opinion, I'd rather not be drawn into this conversation, these are my feelings in this issue, I don't want to go there, you be able to step back. That if it's someone has said to you, were you there when this conversation took place, that you can say, yes, I did, and I verbalized that this was not my issue or problem, it was up to you guys to sort this out between yourselves. You're stating very clearly here that you don't want to be dragged into something. So the codependency is a warning that if you aren't verbalizing your truth, if you don't say no here and put your foot down, there's going to be a blow up. And so it's very difficult to turn around to somebody when they say, well, were you there? And you're like, yes, but you didn't say anything, because unfortunately silence can be mistook as complicity. And so if someone finds out you're privy to knowledge or a conversation that was very damaging to them, and you did nothing to either deflect it or to verbalize that you wanted no part of it, you stood there, unfortunately that does read as agreeing and being complicit with it. So just a warning here that there may be a conversation you're privy to, knowledge you're privy to, somebody bitching or gossiping around you, family trying to drag you in on something or make it your problem. Why doesn't your brother talk to me? Can you not just talk to your brother? Can you not just see what's wrong with your brother? Maybe just ask him to call home. That's not your relationship with your brother. Your relationship with your parents is completely separate to your relationship with your brother. And I'll say it louder for the people in the back. You are not responsible for your parents' relationship with your brother, and your brother is not responsible for your parents' relationship with you. That is on them. And as much as you want things solved and healed, and it's yucky and uncomfortable to have a fallout in a family or a friendship group, sometimes you have to verbalize that and stop this bitching and silliness backwards and forwards and passive aggressive texting. And just a warning there, do not get caught in text messaging, because those words could end up being used against you. So somebody's texting you something, ring them and say, listen, I love you, but I don't want to be drawn on this, and I'm not going there. And so be very clear about that. Or if you want to put that in writing, but just make sure anything you put in writing you can stand over, and be very, very careful about that. So just the storm warning there is a heads up. So this doesn't mean this is definitely going to happen. I think when people see the storm warning card, they get freaked. They go, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? It's going to be a big row. No, it's a heads up because of the fact of the codependency card, which is about being really terrified of judgment, or afraid of not being loved, or having to comply with everyone else's demands. So this is a warning here that if you don't look after yourself and be true to yourself, there's going to be an explosion. However, if you don't define that boundary, others may think that you hold a similar impression that you do not. Good friends are not going to put that on you. So it could also be an eye-opening experience about your friendship circle, your family circle. And again, it's a warning there in terms of taking a step back and looking after yourself. Self-love is the key this week for you, and just stay away from drama, be true to who you are, and look for the people that hold space and love you for exactly as you are, and do not place demands on you. Have a great week.